The Oreads were believed to live in the mountains, caves, and grottos of ancient Greece. The word Oreads comes from the ancient Greek word oros, which means mountain. This association with mountains is reflected in their name and their habitat. The Oreads were considered to be the nymphs of the mountains, caves, and grottos. They were thought to inhabit these natural landscapes, where they would frolic and play. The mountains were their domain, and they were often depicted as being wild and untamed, much like the rugged terrain they called home. In addition to the mountains, the Oreads were also believed to inhabit the trees of the mountains. They were closely associated with the natural world and could often be found among the trees, dancing and playing in the dappled sunlight. The Oreads were considered to be guardians of the mountains and the trees, and they were revered for their connection to the natural world. One of the most famous associations with the Oreads is with the goddess of the hunt, Artemis. Artemis was often depicted as roaming the mountains in pursuit of game, and it was believed that the Oreads were her companions in these hunting expeditions. The mountains were her favorite hunting grounds, and she was closely associated with the rugged and untamed landscape. As a result, the Oreads were often seen as her attendants, and they were thought to accompany her on her hunts. The mountains were considered to be sacred to Artemis, and she was often worshipped in these wild and remote places. The Oreads, as her companions, were also revered in these mountainous regions. It was believed that they could be called upon for protection and guidance, particularly in the treacherous and untamed terrain of the mountains. The Oreads were considered to be a part of the natural world, and their connection to the mountains and trees was integral to their identity. They were seen as the embodiment of the wild and untamed spirit of nature, and they were revered for their close association with the rugged landscapes they called home. In conclusion, the Oreads were believed to live in the mountains, caves, and grottos of ancient Greece. They were closely associated with the natural world and were thought to inhabit the rugged and untamed terrain of the mountains. As the nymphs of the mountains, the Oreads were revered for their wild and untamed spirit, and they were often seen as the companions of the goddess of the hunt, Artemis. Their connection to the mountains and trees made them an integral part of the natural world, and they were revered for their close association with the untamed landscapes they called home.